It's time for the first federal program on WROI Giant FM and streaming live on the First Federal Facebook page.
Yes, it is a beautiful Friday morning, 34 degrees. The weather reads dull and dreary for today, but it's a good Friday.
Eye of the beholder.
Well, yes. Good morning, Evan.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Really good. Eye of the beholder on the weather, but we'll take it.
Hey, it's a beautiful morning because we're here.
It's been a nice winter, I would say, other than the...
I know, it kind of concerns me as, we approach the end of January, but
we'll knock on some wood here real quick.
Yes.
Well, we were talking before we went live about this is kind of the first full work week again.
Yes, it is.
You feeling it?
Yeah. I think that was noticeable as I walked in the door 10 minutes ago.
It's been, you want to test yourself early in the new year, and we'll call this a test, and we're passing so far.
I failed.
So hopefully everyone around town passes today on the first 5-day work week test.
Let's hope so.
In France, they only have, 4-day work weeks.
Yeah, I think America is one of the only countries that still has a 40-hour.
It's a good thing. They're trying to change that in France, and you can't go back, I don't think.
Yeah, no, you can't.
But, we want to be productive and feel good about ourselves. So, it's a good thing. All right, we got Martin Luther King Jr. Day coming up.
Okay, that's Monday.
Yep.
Yes.
We will be honoring Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we will be open to serve you.
That is
We're going to do both. So stop in if you need some banking services, but it'll be a fun day to be serving everybody. All right, trivia question.
Yes.
In what year did the first public radio broadcast take place?
All right, Tanner.
This is going back to your radio school days where they taught you all about radio history, radio theory, radio broadcast.
Yeah, because I didn't go to radio school. I did take some classes in history, though, that covered communication. So we'll see.
We didn't anticipate that, too.
We'll see. I'll
Radio
probably still get it wrong.
Radio school sounds like an army class, doesn't it?
It does.
Yes.
Or else, Cool. All right. You want the choices? Or you want to
Yes,
swing
please.
it? Oh, okay.
Oh, well.
All right. We're going in chronological order here.
Okay.
That way we don't give any clues at all. 1890, 1910, 1930, and 1950.
All right.
Okay, let's
Looks
move
pretty
on.
confident.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
move on so
yeah.
he doesn't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
Distraction.
I think I have the answer, so.
Tanner,
Good morning.
sports report.
Yes, exciting week around here.
I love basketball season.
How can you beat it?
Yeah,
How can you beat it?
it's the best.
That's the good thing about the weather getting colder outside.
That's true.
Indoor sports are
Heating up.
up and ready to go. And,
Yep.
and basketball season, we're in January, middle of January already.
Yeah.
So you're in conference play for both high school and college. And NBA, starting to get closer to the All-Star game, and then after that, teams start tanking. And
So it's the first half that's more fun when people are trying.
Exactly. So, but speaking of high school, this week's been Rochester versus Tippecanoe Valley week.
Yes.
All sports. I like how they started doing that. I don't know how many years ago they adopted that. I don't think it was that way when I was in high school. I could be wrong.
It wasn't when I was there, but
But-
I'm a little older than you.
But they also, when I was in high school, Tippecanoe Valley and Rochester would play twice a year, usually basketball, because they meet in the holiday tourney.
Right.
And then
That's true.
a month later, it was usually wherever the holiday tourney wasn't at. They could have a rematch. So more times than not, they would split the season series. It seemed like, but which was fun.
Rivalries are good.
Oh, they are good. They are
Yes.
good.
Keep them friendly, but it's fun to have a rival.
Yeah, you look at sports across the board. College rivalries are still going pretty heavy, but you look at pro sports. There's not really that many good rivalries that still are passionate. I mean, I would say, the New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox, I wouldn't say it's as much of an intense rivalry as it was at one point, nationally. Now, on the East Coast, it's still
Yeah.
a big
That's
deal,
true.
But I don't know, I feel like pro sports...
I think it's more the fans now than the teams. 'Cause, I mean, those Cleveland fans can't stand Pittsburgh.
Well, you're right. Yeah. Like, as a Denver fan, I can't stand Las Vegas or Kansas City. But, the NFL's trying to stir up new ones like Buffalo, Kansas City, Josh
True.
Allen, Mahomes. They're trying to kind
Based
of
on-
find some recent success.
Based on
matchups,
skill lately and
but-
success, yeah.
But going back to the rivalry talk, yeah, it's been Tippecanoe Valley week. We've had wrestling, we've had swimming. Tomorrow we have basketball.
Yes.
Tonight's boys basketball, tomorrow's girls basketball.
Yep.
Should be two good matchups.
Always.
Pre-game starts at
7:25-ish.
7:25 because there's a full JV game.
Full JV for
And
tonight.
then
Tomorrow
varsity.
night will be a little bit earlier due to the girls only having. Actually, the girls don't have any JV tomorrow night.
No
It's
JV.
varsity only.
Okay. All right. So
Yes.
should be two good games though.
Yeah.
You know, I think the schools, if our athletic directors are listening, I think the schools should do a points-based little standings for each year.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
I think that would be neat. Or either each season or each year, whatever.
Yeah.
Because they do that in other, you know, I went to a Division II college and they had that kind of cup thing.
Purdue
concept.
does that.
Okay.
They do it. Yeah.
So that'd be
Yeah.
really cool to do.
Yeah,
Just
because it helps too with that like in college with school or the sports that don't bring in the big revenue,
Right.
Football and basketball.
Yeah.
It's still very meaningful for them.
Yeah, it includes them. So
Right,
I think
includes them,
that's
yeah.
very fun.
Yeah.
I know we have the Bell game, which
Right.
is a fun trophy game. But
Right.
yeah, there you go.
That's good. Yeah, I like it.
2023, we're heading strong with
I
the
like
brainstorming.
it. I like it.
Keep it coming.
Speaking of college basketball a little bit, got a full slate this weekend of the bigger Indiana programs being in action. Two of them are in action tonight. Purdue, with their 15-1 record, hosts Nebraska, who's got a record of 9-8. That game is tonight at 7 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. And Butler's also in action tonight. They have a record of 10-8. They will host Villanova, who's 8-9.
What?
Yeah, it's the post Jay Wright era is not going. It's not off to as good a start as they were hoping.
You always wonder, chicken or egg. Did he see the writing on the wall, or is it because he left then it started
A
to?
little bit of both, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. That game's at 7 o'clock on Fox Sports 1. And then the lone Big Ten game tomorrow is Indiana, with their 10-6 record, host Wisconsin with their 11-4 record. That game's at 1 o'clock on CBS. So national game before the NFL playoffs get underway tomorrow. Both those teams need a win. They both suffered a loss in conference play earlier this week. So, but Big Ten, you never know what you're going to get. Winless Minnesota went into Ohio State won last night. So
That's awesome.
you just don't know. It's hard to tell who's good and who's not good right now in the Big Ten.
Spin the Big Ten blender.
Yep.
I love it.
And then Notre Dame, 9-8 record. They're at Syracuse tomorrow at 7 o'clock on the ACC network. Syracuse got 11-6 record. So.
You think Notre Dame's going to get stronger as the season goes on? Because they've had a lot of transfers in and things.
You know, last year this time I remember saying they weren't going to make the tournament, and then they got hot and made it. So I wouldn't put it past Mike Bray, but I don't know. I thought they'd be better than 9-8 at this
I
point.
did too. They've got some talent, and
Yep.
they just, they tend to have a lot of transfers and things to complete the team, just maybe based on the academic institution they are or that type of thing. But
And for whatever reason, they seem to never have a ton of depth.
Yeah.
Mike Bray doesn't like to go deep into the bench.
no, he
I don't
doesn't.
know why.
play 5, maybe
Yeah,
6 for
yeah.
a whole game.
Seven at most. If that's somebody who's in foul trouble. So, but he's been successful, so I'm not going against his strategy there. But
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Sometimes
Yeah,
these
it will.
teams get better as the year goes on, maybe because they play so much together.
it's true. And I'm sure they've been practicing against the zone defense, getting ready for Syracuse, because that's what Syracuse has done for years and years and years.
It can be tough to watch.
Yeah, it's very tough to watch. NFL playoffs start this weekend. They got a ton of games going on. It starts with the Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco 49ers tomorrow. Then tomorrow night's the LA Chargers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then on Sunday you have the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. It looks like the Dolphins are going to be starting a third-string quarterback. That could get a little ugly. That could,
Yeah.
for NFL purposes, that could be equivalent to what Monday night's Georgia TCU game was.
Yeah, I agree.
You got the New York Giants at the Minnesota Vikings, and then the Sunday night game's a rematch from last week, the Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals. And it looks like the Ravens might be starting their backup quarterback. So, and then you got a Monday night game. This is kind of new for the playoffs to do this. Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. So I like how they did that. And speaking of it, I know I just mentioned the college national championship game. I really wish they moved that to a Saturday.
Yeah, me too.
I don't understand. College football is meant to be played on a Saturday. I don't know why they do a month. But
I didn't watch a minute of it.
I watched till halftime, and then I was like, this game's so over, I can't watch anymore. It was just, I mean, great for TCU to get there, great season they had, great story, but Georgia's on another level right now.
Well, I'd say they'll follow the money, so
Sure.
I know the ratings weren't very good.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll make some changes. I'm sure it was based on the matchup, but
And I think in the years past, they were worried about conflicting with the NFL. Now the NFL's added that extra week, you can make it work.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
And maybe they will once in 2024 they expand to 12 playoff teams.
Is
Maybe
this
they will.
is this NFL playoff on Monday night because they added the extra wild card team?
I think so. Yeah.
Just, they could do that then.
Yeah.
Kind of
And
even it
add
out.
another week in the last 2 years, they've been able to do some different things scheduling. Just
do
nothing
you-
else going on Monday nights.
Who do you think's going to win that Dallas-Tampa Bay game? That's a puzzler
I
one for
actually
me.
kind of like Tampa Bay. And then if that happens, I could foresee Dallas Cowboys firing Mike McCarthy, especially since Sean Payton's out there. That's
Yeah.
been rumored for a long time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Jerry Jones is the most patient owner in sports.
I think Mike McCarthy's one of your favorite head coaches, though, isn't he?
Yeah, not really.
You'll have to have a
Broncos
conversation with John
Bron-
about the
Broncos can
Cowboys.
take him.
Just give me somebody who wins. That's all I'm asking at this point. I got some tidbits for you, Paul. On this day in 1930, Mickey Mouse first appeared in a comic strip.
Oh,
Really?
Yes.
is that the Steamboat Mickey or something? Is
He-
that right?
He didn't say that.
Steamboat Willie.
Willie.
Steamboat Willie,
Okay.
there we go.
Starring Mickey.
There we go.
He was a good actor.
On this day in 1953, the third NBA All-Star game took place. It was in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
What?
Yeah.
The West beat the East 79-75 without a three-point line. That's a high-scoring game. George Mikan was named MVP.
Ooh, the Mike and
Mike and Drill.
Drill.
I was just remember Mike and Drill.
Were you good at that one?
Not really.
I wasn't either.
I wasn't a post player. I'm like, I don't have to shoot like this.
My heart wasn't in that one. I just,
no.
It should have been, but wasn't.
And on this day, in 1999, you probably heard of this guy, Paul. Michael Jordan.
Who?
He
No,
announced,
I'm kidding.
he announced his second retirement just prior to the start of what was a lock-in to short 98-99 NBA season. Then he returned in 2001 to play with the Washington Wizards when he was part owner or majority owner of the Wizards. So yeah, that was kind of weird, wasn't it, for 2 years?
Yeah. It was like the prime of my life, and 18, 19 years old, I was just like, what?
I remember being in elementary school when he was on the Wizards, and some of my friends going down. I knew that was coming. Going down to the Pacer games to watch the Wizards because we weren't able to watch them when he was on the Bulls a few
Right.
years earlier. So
That's true.
yeah, got a chance to watch them there. So, well, we got a lot of days here, Paul. You ready?
All right, let's do it.
Today is Korean American Day,
Okay.
Stephen Foster Memorial Day.
Okay.
He was a composer, if you didn't know that.
I didn't, so thank
I had
you.
to look it up.
Okay.
Make Your Dream Come True Day,
Cool.
National Blame Someone Else Day.
It's always Tanner's fault.
Knew that was coming. Need some new material, Paul.
I know.
National Sticker Day, National Rubber Ducky Day, Public Radio Broadcasting Day, hence the trivia question.
Yeah.
National Peach Melba Day. You guys know what Peach Melba is?
No.
No.
You know that one? Peach Melba?
Toast, I think.
It is peaches raspberry sauce with vanilla ice cream. So
Okay.
it's a dessert.
I would try that.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I'm in on peach desserts.
Yeah, I like peach flavored things. In International Skeptics Day.
We don't believe it.
Nope. Good.
No, it isn't. Thanks, Tanner.
You're welcome.
Hey, this time of year also is when we start to think about the state legislature getting back together for a session. So we're pleased that Fulton County Chamber of Commerce and Fulton County Farm Bureau's 2023 Legislative Breakfast Series is back.
Yes.
And that'll kick off on January 21st at 7:30 a.m. at the Kiwanis Union Township Public Library. And at that one, I think we usually have 3 of those, don't we, Paul?
Yes, we do.
Okay. At this one, State Senator Stacy Donato and State Representative Jack Jordan are going to be speakers.
Okay.
So, these are free events where you can really get a little bit more of a familiar setting to get to know the legislators and the politicians in our local area and state area. So, really good opportunities there that are available every year. So, the first one's coming right up. Also, the Sciotes are presenting the Light Up the Night Daddy-Daughter Glow Dance on Saturday, February 18th. And that's going to be at the Fulton Community Center this year from 6 to 8. Probably should get some advanced tickets on this one, because this one usually usually sells out.
It's packed.
So you need to find a SIOP member that you're friends with and see if you can get tickets, Dads. $15 per guest, and that includes your professional photo from Bailey Warren Photography, raffle ticket, always fun.
Oh yeah.
Craft,
Mm-hmm.
that'll be a big hit, guys.
Oh yeah.
Get your fingers nimbled up, you're gonna be helping. Cakewalk, refreshments, and dancing. And the ages of the girls that are eligible is 3 through 6th grade.
Okay.
That's they've been doing that for a long time. It's a really fun event.
It is.
Last year we weren't able to go, but we got our tickets this year.
Yeah. See, last year you did go, so see that kind of worked out. I missed you there.
Yeah, that's right. Well, my oldest daughter Jane aged out, so we're back to just a single date, not a double date for Dad.
All right.
So Alice will be happy about that, probably.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's her time to shine. Okay, money news. We had the whole U.S. market was waiting for this December's inflation report yesterday, Paul,
Yes.
and it did exactly what was projected. So I thought maybe nothing. They'd be like, "Oh, great, we got everything just right." Well, it actually kind of spurred the stock market to do a little better yesterday, and the bond market also, both. So good day for the markets yesterday, based on inflation declining a little bit and meeting expectations. So that's just really one of the hot things that everybody's looking at. The other one's employment readings, and those have been really strong still,
Yes.
which is good for people working and making money and being industrious and productive and things like that. But so those are the things that the market's really looking at right now, because they're trying to predict what's going to happen with future interest rates, market interest rates. And to some degree, those can be affected by the Federal Reserve, what they're trying to do. But really, the markets do what they want also. So
Yeah.
they're not agreeing as much right now. So it's making it interesting for economists and people trying to predict what's going to happen in the next few months, let alone year. So what's happened for us here, maybe for homeowners or those looking to buy a home, mortgage rates have actually been dropping this month as the markets are digesting what might happen in the future. And, those are hard to predict too. Why a mortgage rate, which is usually like a 30, 15, or 20-year loan, that's really long-term in financial markets.
Oh, yeah.
Why those rates are dropping or rising, it's hard to understand all that goes into that. But it's a market rate, and those market rates have been dropping. So that has sparked some home loan activity, and that's First Federal's main line of business. So we always obviously follow those rates really closely. And that home loan activity has kind of been dormant for the last couple of months. Holiday times is usually pretty slow anyway. People aren't really wanting to move right around Christmas or New Year's. But that's starting to pick up a little bit, which is great. Interest rates have risen a lot last year and still higher than what we've been used to for the last decade. But they've come back a little bit. I think we're all getting more used to where they're at. They're probably going to stay around that area for a while. So if it dips a little, it might be a good opportunity to get into it, since we wouldn't expect them to go down a whole lot over time. Also, just saw this morning that Tesla's lowering prices for 4 of its most popular models in the U.S. and in some other European countries, and savings are between 6 and 20% on those. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. It's a company that's been all over the place here lately.
Sure has.
Both good and bad.
Okay, thinking about First Federal, we're still offering our Martha Stewart storage set. That's obviously for food.
Yes.
She was a successful Wall Street financial person early in her career too, so that storage set could have been like a piggy bank for Martha Stewart, but it's not. This is a food storage set.
She liked the food side better.
Yeah, she did settle into that. Also, our power bank for charging your electronic items with our nice logo on it. You can get that by opening any checking account with us, but also referring a friend that opens a checking account. They get it and you get it. So keep that in mind. We're a friendly place to bank, We're locally owned and operated here in Fulton County, which there aren't any other financial institutions that can say that. So we'd love to take care of you and have an opportunity to earn your business. We came out last year with some contactless tap-to-pay debit cards that have been a big hit. So we're excited about those. I didn't realize how much quicker that is.
Oh, yeah.
Even the clerks and cashiers enjoy doing that. If they're taking a card to pay for something, they don't want to shove it in or swipe or do all that.
Yeah.
You just
Just think back to our parents' generation. They actually took out a book,
It
wrote their
everything
name
down.
down, the
I
date,
can't
and
stand
the
thinking
amount.
about that. It
And
just
then they got their
bothers me.
driver's license. I mean,
Yeah.
And then the clerk had to write some information on the
Oh,
back from
yeah.
the ID.
I can't imagine how slow life must have been in that.
I don't know if you remember this. We're talking to Pat Brown. He's our surprise mystery guest that we haven't announced yet today.
Yeah.
Hi, Pat. Welcome. Talk about Recovery Cafe. But do you remember standing in the grocery line with your mom or your dad and waiting in the lines for people to finish the transaction like that?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
It was so long. I get impatient now when they're just going beep, 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 and then 2 seconds to pay. But it's like, wow.
Yeah. I was a father of two and like almost 30 years old when I got my first debit card that you could make transactions with.
Did you do a little Irish jig?
A little bit, and
That's exciting.
Yeah, it was. It was the birth of a whole new technology.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have a lot of people that enjoy using your a debit card. So if you haven't tried it, you shouldn't be skeptical, even though it's National Skeptics Day. They work great, and if you're worried about like someone taking, getting your number or something like that, they could get that kind of stuff off a check. So it's actually a little bit better. There's regulations around if somebody does procure your information, you actually get covered if it wasn't your fault. So in almost all cases it isn't. So there's a lot of protections around that. I don't know that people really know or understand that too much if you're not in the banking industry or in the card service industry. So cool product. This time of year we also think about retirement and paying taxes. And if you save for retirement, a lot of times it reduces how much taxes you have to pay. So it's kind of a neat time. You have until, I think, tax day to make a contribution for the previous year into a retirement protected vehicle that can lower kind of your tax burden. So it's a neat time to talk to your accountants, your financial advisors. We've got a couple of the best financial advisors in the business, Mark Blubaugh, Brian Bell, in our financial services department at First Federal. So that's something that you want to find out more information about. You ought to give them a call, and they'd be happy to talk with you about that and start helping you with a long-term financial plan if that would be beneficial or provide value. So, thinking First Federal, we mentioned it. We're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We're very proud of that. We've got a long future ahead of us that we're excited about of serving our community. We're a community bank. That means we don't have Wall Street to report to or be having to be accountable to international shareholders that don't really care about the people living here. We serve our community, and it's a great job, a great career. We love doing that and having relationships with those of you in our communities. So thank you for the support over the years. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are FDIC insured and an equal housing lender, and our NMLS number is 399927.
And that makes us legal.
That's right. Those are our requirements to be speaking on the radio.
Yes.
I'm going to fold this page over so you don't see the trivia answer. You like that, Pat?
He's not. Yeah, shifty eyes.
Oh, thanks.
Well,
Matt.
he already knows this one, I have a feeling, so that doesn't even matter.
Yeah. And I'll
Well-
explain why when we get there.
Okay, good. Well, I want to re-welcome
Yeah.
Pat Brown.
Thank you.
Thank you, local celebrity.
Oh, yeah.
That's me.
I'd say that because you're involved in a lot of interesting things in our community.
I am.
You're doing great things. So we're excited to talk with you this morning. We can talk about anything you want to, but I'm especially curious about Recovery Cafe
Yeah.
and your role as executive director there, and kind of learning about how things have gone, what your mission is, what you do,
Yeah.
getting a little bit more awareness about
Sure.
who you are. You've got great presence on Main Street.
Yeah.
Drive by, walk by, we see Recovery Cafe. Tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about that and what you're doing there.
When we decided to start Recovery Cafe a couple years ago, Recovery Cafe is, think of it as a franchise.
Okay.
There are many of them around the country. There are almost 20 in Indiana now.
Oh, that's great.
We're the third one. So we were an early adopter. There's now dozens. Many of them, because of budget, go out and they beg churches and businesses, let us use your back room, let us use your basement.
I see.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
And, you know, you want to put your resources where they do the most good. I really wanted us to be on Main Street because I wanted to stop hiding people who have issues that they need help with. We all have issues we need help with. Paul, you got stuff that people help you with? Evan,
Absolutely.
we rely on each other. So I wanted to bring it out of the shadows, put it on Main Street, and it really works well. We've had not tons, but we've had more than a couple people just open our door. It's like, what do you guys do?
That's neat.
Yeah. So we like being on Main Street. It does have a lot of activity, and people can see us in there at night. We're having a good time. The diseases of addiction and mental health are very, very isolating. They, by their nature, they remove in various degrees and layers all of the supports that people normally have in their life. They just fall away as these diseases progress. And just asterisk here, the disease of addiction has been identified as a medical disease since the 1950s clinically. So that's why I say disease.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. So we're on Main Street. Our members like it. Our members' favorite thing we've done in the last year is, since 2 years ago when United Ministries was not able to continue doing gifts for children at Christmas, the Café decided to take that over. Our members raise money, they wrap the gifts, they buy the gifts, and we deliver to where they go. So this year we had a pancake fundraiser. That's awesome. And the community was so amazing. You guys are beautiful people. You know who you are. Our members, they love that. We are sincerely talking already about trying to be the impetus for a real community-filled Christmas parade next year. You know, we bring Santa to town with a lot of pomp and circumstance.
That's right.
But the parade was 3 vehicles.
We can do better than that, can't we?
Yeah. So the members are really excited about the
That's
idea
neat.
of having a year ahead to work on bringing a real Christmas parade to town. Gets them involved, gets them feeling integral, gets them feeling like they're contributing, and that's super important for them and for me. You know, we're a small town. We should be more like Mayberry than what we are, and every small town can say that.
Love the vision of Mayberry.
Yeah.
You know, know the people around you, care about them.
Exactly.
Be concerned. Yeah, hey, so and so didn't show up like they normally do. What's going on?
Exactly.
Love that idea.
We have a members chat on our phones, and at 3 o'clock this morning, I had 2 messages that were from 2 different people saying, "Hey, I didn't hear from blank and blank yesterday. Does anybody know where they are?" Well, this person works 3rd shift. It was on their mind.
Yeah.
So we think about each other. It is a community, and that's really important. The opposite of addiction isn't sobriety, it's connection.
Interesting.
There's an amazing TED Talk. If you're driving, sorry. If you're not driving, write this down. Search a TED Talk called "Everything You Know About Addiction Is Wrong." It talks about a lot of science behind addiction and connectedness. The science behind it is they created a maze. It was rats. They created a maze for rats, a little playground. And they didn't give them anything to do. They gave them 2 water bottles. One had cocaine in it, and one was just water. When the rat was by itself with nothing to do, it went to the cocaine over and over and over and over. When they changed it and put other rats in there and put like fun things to do, they gave them the same 2 options. They would try the cocaine-laced water, but they would reject it and they would move over to the regular water. People are not much different than that. If we have connections, if we have things to do that are engaging, that are important to us, if we have relationships that we care about, we're much better suited and much more likely to make better decisions for ourselves.
So, this is an interesting vision that you're painting for us. So, thinking about our community, you know, what would go along with that is, you know, making it a place where there's things to do, people to interact with.
Yes.
Kind of, pandemic might have been hard on that particular set of circumstances that you're talking about.
Yes. Every negative went up during the pandemic, and if you talk to Judge Heller and Judge Lee, the one that I shouldn't say surprised, but the one that bothers them the most is the incidence of domestic violence went up precipitously. Boy, you talk about a thing that shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, I can be as mad at somebody as I want, but I don't have a right to lay my hands on them, and especially if you're supposed to be in a relationship.
Right.
So every mental health issue went up during the pandemic.
Are we climbing out of that now?
We're waiting for the numbers to see how bad 2022 was for overdoses. I know 2021 we set the record, crossed the 100,000. And I'll use that to segue to this. In 2021, there were 27,000 people who overdosed and were revived because of naloxone or Narcan. In Fulton County, the Recovery Café manages 3 boxes at libraries where people can get free naloxone doses, or Narcan is the brand name for it. So you go get that, you get it today, you don't get it when you see somebody overdose, you've got 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So a couple weeks ago around Christmas when it was 5 degrees, the naloxone froze. At 5 degrees, everything freezes. I was frozen. So what we want people to do is go today. Go anytime you're near one of the libraries, and the libraries are Fulton, Albany, and Rochester, and get naloxone, keep it in your purse, keep it in your briefcase, keep it in your toolbox, keep it in your glove box, keep it in your house, your office. Because there are 27,000 people alive in the U.S. today because in 2021 they had Narcan. Personally, I've revived 2 people in my life with Narcan who they were gone. Here in Fulton County a week ago, a young father, he was revived by Narcan. His kid still has a dad. And I know people roll their eyes at this point, hearing that, say, well, you know, what kind of dad is it? Somebody who's trying.
An opportunity again.
Exactly.
Yep.
Most addiction is temporary. Most addiction is not permanent. Death is permanent.
Yep.
I hear people, and Chris Saylor's the former sheriff, talk. He had one of his deputies come to him when they were first introducing Narcan, and he said, you know, do I have to administer this? And Chris told this deputy, you don't have to. If you can go home at night and feel okay that you didn't try to save somebody's life, that's on you.
I bet he administered it when given the opportunity.
Exactly. So, powerful tools, they're free. We also have fentanyl test strips in all of those boxes that you can take. People in active use know they're getting fentanyl, especially people who are seeking heroin. Heroin is not sold anymore. It's all just a fentanyl base.
Really?
It's very potent. It's very dangerous. People whose addiction goes to methamphetamine and even pills, it's all being laced with fentanyl. And if they don't know about it and they have no experience with it, that's such a deadly cocktail. There are new variations coming around. They've been in the East Coast. Now they're being seen in Indiana. Having Narcan is going to become more and more important as these drugs' potency increases.
Well, I like the creative idea of having it available
Yeah.
at public places.
Yeah.
So people, I mean, our first responders, you mentioned, have had this available for several years. Now, individual citizens that are worried about someone or just want to be prepared can participate in being ready and prepared. And that's what we want our community to be.
Exactly.
Well, we appreciate you coming on this morning and talking about this big community. This isn't unique to Fulton County.
Oh, no.
This is all over the country.
It is.
It's a big problem. It got worse the last few years. We appreciate what you're doing, Pat, and with Recovery Cafe, the mission that you guys have, the community you're looking to build. We want this to be a great community for everybody that offers things that are interesting, art, civics, sports, community, religion, everything, to create a full community, give everybody an opportunity to enjoy it. And you guys are a big part of that. Thanks for sharing about what you're doing there today.
Thanks for having me on.
Okay.
All right.
Trivia question.
I can't wait to hear the year.
In what year did the first public radio broadcast take place? It's right behind my sheet here so that it's hidden. 1890, 1910, 1930, or 1950?
Well, see, I know the bottom 2 are completely out because War of the Worlds was in the 30s.
Well, this is the wheels turning. This gives you a little bit of an idea how he does this every week.
I'm going to go B.
1910. That was good elimination. I liked multiple choice. Kids, if you're listening, oh, you're probably in school. Should be listening. This is how you take a test, kids. This is great. January 13th, 1910, a live opera was broadcast from the Metropolitan Opera House.
Okay.
First one. Congratulations.
I knew 1815 or 1890
90.
was too
early.
Yeah. So
We just finished the Civil War right now.
Yeah, Philo Farnsworth was a child.
exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's end our show. We had a great show this morning. Thanks again, Pat. Paul, thank you so much for the support. Thank you to our listeners. Our words of wisdom this morning. Ralph Marston, an American writer. What you do today can improve all your tomorrows.
I like those words of wisdom. Thank you guys so much for coming in, and we'll see you again next week.
All right.